with Saurabh Mittal, Managing Director and CEO at Greenlam. The stock currently trading at 666 rupees. If you take a look at the numbers, revenues were down about 8%, PAT was down 34%, EBITDA margin has come in at 12.2% in the third quarter. Mr. Mittal, many thanks for joining us this afternoon on NDTV. Was a tough quarter for Greenlam?
Yes, it was a tough quarter, and you can see the results. We were down 8% in sales. The domestic sales were actually down by 10%. And obviously, the reduction in sales led to a reduction on the EBITDA margins in terms of value and percent, because most of the costs are fixed after the raw materials. So yes, it was challenging on the revenue side. However, on the working capital side also, we slipped a bit because of high inventory. Again, that took poor sales. The collections were, the debtors' collections were actually, they improved a bit. So by and large, I would say, yes, it was challenging. Yep.
So if we had to break down the factors at play in the quarter, I mean, we all know the national event demonetization, and that played out predominantly?
I would say that would be the primary reason, because post the demonetization for nearly a week, 10 days, and a lot of our orders were postponed. Dealers didn't want to lift inventory. So I think that was a challenging point and a period, yes.
I think that, everyone's interested in the recovery.
Sure.
And if you can give us a sense of how that recovery is playing out, potentially it's, tougher to talk about recovery in your sector, but perhaps I'm wrong. So can you just point us towards the recovery trajectory?
Yeah, so if you look at the impact on our sector, as far as we're concerned, we think it's been positive for us because we do have a large unorganized segment across the product categories in laminates, veneers, flooring, and doors. While we do have a fair share of exports also, so from that perspective, I think the demonetization, impact and the potential GST, getting implemented in July, I think both these will be big triggers for our business. And as we talk now, January, I think was a normalized month in terms of sales and collections. While the macro still remains challenging in our sector, but with the unorganized players, finding it more difficult. So I think we will probably gain market share, but I think the overall industry will still face pressure for next couple of quarters.
Okay, and that's a valid point that both demonetization and GST are going to be favorable for the organized sector. But you talked about, somewhat tentatively you described normalcy in January. Where are you putting more of your focus? Is it still on the collection side, or is that an issue that's done and dusted?
Actually, collections we are fairly, under control with our debtor days actually improving. So I think that's going to be fairly constant. The attention is to build the sales, bring in some more focus on the projects and the commercial segment too. So really the energy is being spent to build the sales and build the revenues and look at further areas of opportunities in the marketplace.
I mean, normal is a relative term, but I did want to get a sense from you that given the budget is also out of the way, do we say next fiscal it's back to absolutely normal? I just wanted a few more concrete indicators which suggest how this January to March is looking to you.
So I think January to March, if you look at the laminates business, which is a core business, you could assume it'll be back to absolutely normal, if that's what you would know. On the veneer, flooring, and doors too, the base has been quite small. So I think really the new businesses have other challenges besides the demonetization. Demonetization also was a challenge. So there too, I think you could assume that things will be back to normal within this quarter.
Okay, and where personally are you directing your energies in these days? So what are you focusing most on?
Well, that's a tough call, but I could say largely it's really on the revenue side and on building the markets and working with the sales and marketing teams to ensure that the revenues happen. I think that's where the energy is being spent because our infrastructure in terms of capacities, product development, the expansions moving on schedule at the Himachal plant. So really the energy is being spent on ensuring that the revenues come in as per the targets.
Okay.
Yep.
Saurabh Mittal, many thanks for your time. Good to talk to you today, and all the best in the months ahead as Greenlam gets back into gear, full gear.